only is it a big upset, but we have to give a lot of credit to Hull City coming into the Premier League and really making a statement in first match day.
And look, let's start on the Hull piece of this, right? I think Hull have been fantastic. Again, we spoke about it before the season when we had to make our predictions. I still have them being relegated, but I was talking to the point of not having enough quality in the final third to get things done. But I do have intangibles that you can't buy. Togetherness, grit, a work ethic that is, when you're here, this is how we're going to work. And today, they bullied Man United. From start to finish, they bullied them. And it's not just as simple as, oh, all they did was run over people and make fouls. No, they run all over them. They got into the final third. The one thing I thought tactically that the manager did really well, they just kept crossing balls into the box. They put Man United in a game that they did not want to play. And Man United just had no answers for it. And a lot of these players for Hull will go away from that game going, you told me Man United were going to be in the European places. You told me Man United were in the Champions League. This is what we've got to deal with. This is going to be a good season. So the amount of belief and goodwill that must be oozing throughout that whole city of Hull will be fantastic. Look at the possession here. 28%. When we live in a world now where everyone wants to be 60 and 70 and play out from the back, just say, no problem. You have the ball, and we're going to sit in and wait for our chances. But the biggest piece to that is 21 shots for Man United, 8 for Hull, 4 on target. So 1 in 2 is on target, and Man United only managed 5 throughout the whole game. So for me, Hull were fantastic. Now, let's get to the fun part of it. Man United. I spend a lot of time giving my takes, and I try and be as honest and as unbiased as I can do. And you get a lot of stick, and thankfully I'm not on social media, but I am told by my kids what's said and why apparently I'm a Man United hater. And we should all understand that Michael Carrick's at the wheel now, so everything's fine. But what they've shown you in pre-season is there's an underbelly, there's a soft underbelly there that shows you that when it gets a little bit hard, these players go hiding and they go missing. And when we look at the whole project, a year ago they went and they really emphasised on getting the front line sorted. So they brought in Højlund, they brought in Šeško, they brought in Xerxes, they brought in Mbeumo, they brought in Cunha. So they wanted to really fix that front line. Højlund, now gone. He's gone. Šeško was injured, obviously. But they've gone back to one player again in Marcus Rashford, who 18 months ago, 2 years ago, was the part of the problem. Now he's back and he's the guy that's going to come in and try and get the game sorted in the second half. Didn't really do much when he came on. But that's a bigger picture piece for me is, what is the project? Because each summer they seem to be going, right, we're going to have a real emphasis on this. This summer now seems to be the midfield. So they brought in Santos, they've brought in Yuri Tillemans, and now getting Belieber done. It feels like it's like we're going to fix this section, then we're going to fix this section and this one. It's a bit like a house renovation. But as you know, in my house, not sure about yours, but in mine, when my wife does the kitchen, the second she does the kitchen, she wants to do the bathroom. And then when she does the bathroom, she wants to do the kitchen again. She keeps going back and forth. That's how Man United are in the transfer window. They're all over the place. You're meant to fix every aspect of the team and get better in every area. The back four is more or less the same back four that's been a problem for a while. Again, you're in this situation where you're asking players to do things that they're not normally meant to do. Andre Santos has came in because he is win the ball back, give it to someone better. They're asking him to build out from the back and play. That's not what he's very good at. Yuri Tillemans, who I think will get much better, he had a decent game, but his job is getting on the half-turn, playing through the lines. Bruno Fernandes, again, his stats will keep telling you how great he is. He had an unbelievable season. But there's so many times he's trying to do the killer pass when the simple pass is just there and let somebody else score. And I just thought today, yes, they will get better. Yes, they will buy people. Do I think they'll be relatively successful in the league? Yeah, I think they'll finish in the top 6. Do I think they'll be successful in the Champions League? Not really. I think it'll be one of those ones where they maybe get through, and as soon as the knockout phases come, they get beat by a better team. But you can't get bullied on day one of the season. What's pre-season for? We both played. What's pre-season for? To get through the mental endurance. Yeah. The hard runs, the hard yards, that when we go to the first game, the least we're going to do is compete. And today they didn't compete, they got bullied. And that's a real worrying sign for me, because you can get better tactically, technically. But if that soft underbelly is there and people know, OK, all we have to do is cross the ball, all we have to do is work hard, you're in trouble. And now they're going to go up against an Ipswich team next. If Ipswich go in, okay, this is going to be fun because we know what the blueprint is.
We have a chance now.
Yeah, we know what the blueprint is, and I've gone on a little rant there. I apologise, but it's just like when you look at it, it's for me, it's just so frustrating because Man United's the biggest club in England, got the most history, but year on year now for about 10 years, they keep doing the same cycle. They'll go through different managers, then they'll go back to an old player and go, oh, look, we get the fans on side, and really try to recreate an identity that's not actually there anymore. The game's moved forward, the players have moved on, the players are different to the players you had in your generation. And you look at a Liverpool who went through that phase, and then they got a Jurgen Klopp, backed him, changed it. You look at Arsenal, they went through Unai Emery, got to Arteta, backed him, changed it. Man United keep changing manager, keep changing philosophy, and then go, what's the problem?
It seems like they're constantly putting out these small fires as another one immediately pops up. But I like that you brought up the midfield because they brought in acquired players, tried to add some depth, but really what went wrong with Michael Carrick and the midfield that he put out today? Is it that they're just not up to the standard of how United want to play?
They are tried and tested in regards to that. They've been in England and they're acclimatised and you know what you're going to get. I think the problem they have is these players have been at teams that aren't used to dominating with the ball. So Yuri Tillemans, you take him from Aston Villa. Aston Villa play a pragmatic approach where they sit in and they try and play through the lines. Santos hasn't played a great deal for Chelsea, whether that be through injury or just through different players in his position. But you need to be able to play through. And one player who's getting away with murder, by the way, who I've just realised here, Dorgu. How is he playing left wing? You brought him in as a left back, and now he's playing as a left wing. And then you look to the back line, Luke Shaw, excellent player when fit and healthy. If you have to start a sentence by saying when fit and healthy, it's not a very good sign. Then you look at Harry Maguire. They've been trying to get rid of Harry for about 4 years. He keeps coming back year on year. Mazraoui, is he at the level? I would argue not. The only one who's that bright spark is Heaven, is the young man who they brought in. But again, should Man United be looking at their team on the first day of the season and saying, we have no recognised striker, no recognised left winger, no proper centre-back pairing that we can turn around on, our right-back's not good enough, and then say that's a team that's going to be there to compete. I just feel that they've spent a lot of money and they've spent it relatively well in terms of they're not spending 80, 90, 100 million. But you have to spread the love across all areas if you want to improve as a team.
We'll talk about spreading love, a player that's sort of been on the outs, on loan to Aston Villa, on loan to Barcelona. Marcus Rashford winds up being the first sub off of the bench today. And I can't help but think, we both played in the game from a player's perspective, how are you supposed to feel confident and truly add to a team? And what's even the messaging from the coaching staff saying when he's the first one off the bench to come into a game?
Yeah, it feels like a marriage of convenience. Like, he's been at the club, he's on a massive amount of money. No one wants to take him on the wages that he's on. So we're just going to stay together for the kids type thing. You know, we're going to stay, we're going to see this thing through. When the kids get to 18, we're going to separate. And I just feel that that's where it is for Marcus. Look, I've been very strong on Marcus Rashford for about 3 years now, but I want to set one thing clear. The talent and the ability is clearly there. Wonderful talent and ability. It's about, can he engage his mind, stay off social media, stay away from all the nonsense, and just concentrate on being a footballer. And if he does that, he should and probably could have went down as a Man United great. Came through the academy, burst onto the scene. Everyone was like, oh, my God. He's done great things in the community. He's done great things for kids, especially around COVID time. But over the last 3 to 4 years, he's fallen into this trap where he's become entitled. And what's happened now is an unfortunate situation. I think, thinking to myself, you're just about to start a season, you're back, you have an opportunity. Dorgu should never, and I mean never, be playing over Marcus Rashford. But clearly he is, for whatever reason. I don't know the ins and outs. But why is it that Marcus Rashford has gone to Aston Villa, for whatever reason they did take him on? You go to Barcelona. Everyone told me he did well, apparently he did well. So well that at a price tag of £35 million in this market, they sent him back, spent 80 million on Anthony Gordon to bring him in. And everyone goes, oh, it's the wages. So let's work it out. Do you think the extra £45 million they spent just on that wouldn't cover Rashford's wages? So there's things people are seeing behind the scenes that you either don't apply yourself properly, you don't work as hard as everybody else, you're not a very good teammate. These are things that keep rearing its head. And that's not my opinion. That's what the market is showing you, right? Because he keeps getting sent back. And then to answer your original question in regards to how is he supposed to perform well, first off, don't be going on to, I think it was X, saying to JB Carrick, I'd appreciate, all I want to do is just concentrate on my football. Well, you can't be concentrating on your football because you're worrying what people are saying about you. When we both played, there's people that don't like you, right? There's people that write negative things about you. When you're in the zone and focus on it, how much of it do you actually see?
Yeah, it's you against everybody. That's not something you should consume.
Exactly, and he's still in that because he's worried about people's perception and what people think of him. And I just think he is part of a bigger problem within Man United, is where they have now found themselves, due to bad decisions, unlike what Arsenal did with a Mesut Ozil, with a Aubameyang, with a Lacazette, which was like, okay, that doesn't fit to where the culture is now. Let's find a solution to get them out of the building. Not let's loan them out and bring them back. Let's loan them out, bring them back. Just get it out. Find the problem, get it out. Whatever that problem may be, whether it's financial, whether it's attitude. But it just sums to why Man United are not going to be as successful as they have been, because they don't make the harsh decisions, which is, you're a problem for us for whatever reason. We've got to remove you, and we're going to be better moving forward. And then, by the way, last little rant, can't go without it. Kobbie Mainoo, the guy who never played for England, who apparently got better, he came on it very early in this game. So did Rashford. They still lost 2-0. So now who are Man United going to blame? Because before it's, Mainoo doesn't get minutes, Rashford doesn't get minutes. These guys all played, had no impact on the game. So now where does the problem lie? Well,
that's my next question is, what do they need to do to sort of strengthen and bolster their squad? Is it acquiring more players, or is it more of the intangibles, the mentality, the heart, the culture that you mentioned that truly needs the shift in order for them to do better? Because they're playing not only in the EPL, they have FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. It's a long season for them.
100%. I think both could be true. So you need to upgrade in better areas. I think when you look at the next 5 games, Ipswich now, everyone was saying Man United had a great start. Hull, Ipswich, this is what you want. 2 newly promoted teams. You should go and beat them. Everton had a massive win again today. They look in good form. One of the outsiders, I think, that no one's going to talk about that could end up in Europe at the end of the season. Man City is a derby. Anything could happen in that. Fulham, it's a great start again because Fulham have made a lot of changes. And then Spurs, who historically they've always had a good record against. So it should be good. I think they need to improve. They need to get a right back. They need to get a left back. They need to get another centre half. They need to invest in the wide areas again, because if you take off Brian Mbeumo, if you take off Acuna, the level drops from, let's say that's 10 out of 10 to like a 6. The drop's too big. And then ultimately for the intangibles, like I say, Michael Carrick's great at being level. He was as a player, he is as a coach. When they're winning, he's never too high. When they're losing, he's never too low. But you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror, and we've both been there after a game, when you've lost especially, and go, did I give everything? Did I win my duels? Did I win my headers? Did I win my tackles? And I don't think a lot of those players can do that. And when they don't do that, you know what that leads to? Blame. It wasn't my fault, it was that person's fault. It wasn't that person's fault, it was this one. And when you get into that culture, I think that is the real underpinning of this Man United team. Because they will have moments this season where they'll win, and they'll be like, that's a great team. But they'll have a lot more of these moments in games where they're expected to win, that they'll lose. And they did it last year, and they blamed Amorim. I just wonder who they're going to do it this year for.
Yeah, it seems there needs to be a really big cultural shift with that. You do all the small things right, the big things are going to naturally come. Well, everybody, of course, we will keep you updated on the latest football news. And, of course, we will have more footy here on the Golazo Network. Stick with us.